Hello everybody, welcome to episode 100. For the past 3, maybe 4 episodes, I've been going around cleaning up my entire world, updating farms to proper storage systems, dividing and conquering platforms, building up, just so I can show you guys my world. So let's quit the yapping and show you guys. Let's go to where it all began. My spawn chunks. So this is where we spawned. It doesn't look anything similar to what it was like before I came around. Perchance did you notice the Among Us? But yeah, this is where it all began. Before I start this world tour, if there's any of you that want to follow along, there should be a world download in the description. I was fighting myself a lot on that, whether I wanted to give away my world download because it's my world and it's like, I don't want to share, but I decided I would. How I'm going to go about this is I'm not going to do it in order of episodes. I'm going to do it in order of what makes sense. So I'm kind of just going to do a continuous line, go through the Nether, show off all my builds leading up to my base, show off my base, go from my base to the end, show off the end, and then back to where we started. One last thing before we start. I hate to do this. I hate flaunting this. It's so cringe, but here's my day count in the top right. 34,308. There's also the lag of my world. If MSPT goes above 50, the TPS goes down and the world slows down. Just in case those of you with worse PCs want to avoid areas, you know, where even I lag. But yeah, I hate flaunting that because I AFK a lot. I AFK a crap ton in my world. So it's like I've kind of fudged the numbers. That's not actual playtime, that's AFK time. But you're yapping. Let's start the world tour. So obviously I got this Among Us thing. The lore behind this is I probably built it in a manic state. This thing's just so stupid. I'm joking. I built it for a clickbaity title, to be honest with you. I named it Among Us versus Minecraft. And yeah, it's just Among Us versus Minecraft. It's nothing special. And this little farm right here in the middle of everything, it's the storage system for my gravity block duper. We'll get into that later when we go through the end. That's my spawn chunks. Let's head into the next area. If you hop on top of this nether portal here and fly this way, we'll make it to my first ever base. A lot came from this place, my first ever base. This is where it truly all began. But honestly, it's not much. I've got a pumpkin farm. I've got a carrot farm. I got another pumpkin farm. I got a sheep farm. And I got a nice little mass cow farm I designed. It's pretty cool. I don't have any wheat to show it off, but how it works is there's cows in here. You breed them. Their babies get pushed by water into here. And when they grow up, I can just press this button and burn them alive. It was my first ever food farm and my leather farm. I never really used it as a food farm because I went to golden carrots pretty quick, but I liked it for the leather. To the right of that, we also got this turtle farm, which I started ages ago, but I recently updated it to extend it because it wasn't producing enough turtle eggs. I needed a lot for something I was working on. I don't remember what it was for, but I needed heaps. Then head back to this way. We got my old mine shaft. I think this only goes down to where the old bedrock was, not down to the deep slate, because this world started 5 years ago, back before the deep slate existed. And this used to be a lot more organized. I must have came down here with a haste 2 beacon just to mine stone and stuff, but I went about 700 blocks that way and then just kept mining tunnels along the sides like this. I miss the nostalgia of mining a tunnel like this. It was always my go-to mining method. I never liked caving. I always liked just grinding it out, digging a giant hole. That time has passed. If we exit out the hole now, last thing on this little island I'll show is this sugarcane tower, if you're wondering about that. I used to do a thing where at the start of every episode, I would add a sugarcane to that tower, but I kind of just stopped doing it because it felt stupid. And to this day, I still have people in the comment section being like, where's the sugarcane tower? Yeah, I'm talking about you. And honestly, I just don't respond because I think it's funny. But yes, this is my first island where I came to be. This is where everything came from. This is a piece of history. Next thing next to this island is this giant circle. This is a humongous circle. I think it's a 3,000 block wide circle. This was just another stupid clickbaity title. I stopped doing stuff like this because it just felt stupid. Like, what's the purpose of this? It's a big circle. Like, wow. Good for you. I think after this, I stopped making stupid big stuff for no reason. I started actually doing videos on progressing my world because it just felt so pointless to me. Now, if we kind of just follow this line in the center of the circle, I think it'll lead me towards an old squid farm that I designed. Yeah, right down here. This squid farm is terrible. Squid farm mechanics are absolutely the stupidest thing anyone could ever try and figure out. I'm gonna head into free cam and show you how it works. So why this is a terrible squid farm, I didn't understand squid mechanics before I started building it, but they're really stupid. They're like absolutely terrible. If you get too far away from the mobs, which look at how far I am. I'm right there and the mobs are right there. They just don't move. They don't move whatsoever. And it's really frustrating. That's why I got this minecart set up. So I believe it was something around you have to be within 32 blocks of them to move. And you have to be 24 blocks away from them for them to spawn. They're like, it's stupid. You have an 8-block gap for them to spawn and move. So you have to design something very perfect. And I didn't know that before I designed this. If you want to go watch my frustration, I think I titled it The Crappiest Squid Farm Ever. I was so mad. I was so frustrated with it. It's such a terrible farm. It's such a simplistic design as well. It's just water, fence gates, water, fence gates, water, fence gates, and then a big drop to their death. Like exactly like that. How perfect was that timing? But yeah, it's just terrible. All right, that's that. If we fly back to this netherrack line, fly back to my first base, and then fly back to my spawn chunks, we'll continue on the world tour. And this is the kind of way I play the game. I don't like to go out and build farms in random spots unless I absolutely have to, like witch farms and stuff, because you can only build those at witch huts. I like to play kind of condensed. I like to pick an area and I just build in it. Like, what's the point of building something and then you just never see it? There's no point to it to me. I like to build all my things together. Anyways, that's it for the spawn district. Let's show you the nether. Here we are. It's glorious, isn't it? So my goal of this was to make the nether a completely safe way to traverse, as long as you follow the highway, obviously. But we've got a couple of stops before we go to our main base. If we stop halfway up this place, to the right here, we've got my first ever place I ever really farmed with a skeleton skulls. Into this main tunnel here, if we just go a little further in, we got this hole here. We drop down, go to the left, keep following along until you got this little staircase here. This is my first ever blaze rod farm. This is how I got the blaze rods to light up the ender portal. If I head into free cam, I think this is a really old etho design, and apparently it doesn't work. Why is this guy not getting pushed? Okay, it still works. He just got pushed randomly. But yeah, I still come back here whenever I need blaze rods. I never need blaze rods that often, but when I do, this thing still works. Anyways, that's that. This is probably the most dangerous thing in the nether I'll have to show you. Everything else is pretty safe. We head up this staircase here and fly back to my beautiful safe tunnel. Then just keep heading up the highway. Take the first turn. Go into your first iron tunnel. This will lead us to my first and only nether perimeter that's made completely out of iron blocks. I think it was so cool to turn the nether, a barren wasteland of lava and chaos and fiery ash, into a futuristic white design. Is that just me? I don't think it is. I think everyone here thinks that's awesome. And this is my first intersection. We'll go left at the intersection. I'll show off the farm over here. This will be our second stop. Head through this nether portal and it'll take us to somewhere pretty crazy. Pretty mental. The witch farm perimeter. This was my second ever perimeter I built, and recently I updated it to make this witch face on it. I think it looks pretty cool. And I think this is a Zapranos. I think that's the person who designed it. Sorry if I am completely wrong. But yeah, this witch farm is pretty cool. If you just head up this scaffolding stream, then fill your inventory so you're not picking up items. You lift this trapdoor, go into this hole, and you just whack this item stand, and you're looting through all the witches that fall into this. It's pretty sick. It's a shifting platform design. So as soon as witches spawn, there's string and it shifts the witches through these blocks. The mud here isn't a full block. The logs here are a full block. So they spawn on the mud, they clip with the block and they fall through. And it's really fast, really good. This is where I get all my redstone. I don't really use anything else from this farm. I only really use the redstone. I don't even use the glowstone. I get all that from my piglin bartering farm. But this thing is amazing for redstone. I love it. That pretty much sums up this whole area. Not much more to go off of. We may as well just head back to the Nether through the portal. Follow along the highway back to the intersection. We'll turn left to the intersection. And up at this corner here, we'll turn right. And we've got this little portal here. I think I remember what this one leads to. I think it's my Guardian farm. This thing's pretty awesome as well. I'll show you how this works. The Guardians, they spawn. They eventually go into this and they die of fall damage. All of the items go to hoppers that lead to dispensers that dispense them into this water stream here and auto-sorted into the chest. Don't mind that big thing over there. We'll get back to that. That's that. We'll head back to the Nether. That's enough of the Nether highway. We'll just head back up to this corner back here and we'll be done with it. I can show you the rest of the Nether. So what do I got in my perimeter? I got a gold farm and I got a wither skeleton farm. And I got a really awesome way to sort all the items. This thing's so awesome. I'll show it off by using my gold farm over here. So to use this gold farm, you just flick this lever. I'll look at this lever and head into my free cam mode to show you how it works. So up here, I flick the lever. It sends out a redstone signal, which disables all of this lava and allows piglins to spawn. They run towards a turtle egg in the center and then they fall onto a hay bale down here. And then I absolutely tear them a new one. They don't even see it coming. Okay, now for the storage system. This thing's so cool. So all the items get pushed down in this single block stream, then they get pushed into this, and then they just get flung around by slime and ice. It's so cool. It's so awesome. I don't remember if I designed this myself. I definitely designed all of these individual things myself, but I don't know if I came up with the idea of this myself or I saw someone else do it. But all the items also get sorted into this amazing auto crafter shulker box filler that I designed not too long ago. The only thing I get is gold. I don't worry about the flesh or the swords and stuff. I only want the gold. It all fills up into shulker boxes of gold blocks, which I think is awesome. Auto crafters are awesome. And to turn it off, you just come back out, flick that lever. It doesn't break if you leave it on, but it does take up the mob cap and you can't use the wither skeleton farm. I also like to make sure to kill all the leftover guys in there just so they don't take up the mob cap. Now for the witch farm. You just fly up into this platform here. You flick this lever. It does pretty much the same thing. If I head up here, flick the lever, it disables these dispensers here and gets rid of the lava. With the skeletons, they spawn and they really hate piglins, so they try and kill him, but then they ended up being the ones that get killed. They all fall into this lava, which is perfectly aligned, so they become one shot. Do they become one shot with anything? They're literally one shot by anything. But I'll still use a looting 3 sword. And same thing with the storage system here. It's friggin' awesome. All the items, they get sorted down into this 1 block stream. They get pushed along this amazing slime block pushing thingy-majiggy bobingy. I'm sorry. I know I'm rambling on about this storage system, but it's so good. It's so awesome. I love it so much. And it's all my own design. And same thing with this shulker box fillers. It gets auto-sorted into bone blocks and coal blocks and just regular wither skeleton skulls. It's genuinely amazing. Building storage systems really bring me joy. I love it for some unknown reason. But yeah, to turn it off, you flick the lever back up. Wait for all the lava to come down and kill everything just so they don't take up the mob cap. And that's everything in my perimeter. Something I want to do in the future is I want to build a whole new perimeter for a new gold farm because this one is not that fast. I need a faster one because it took me about 12 hours to get 4 shulker boxes of gold blocks. That is definitely not fast enough. But before we head back to my base, which is through this portal here, if we look up, there's a nice little hole in the roof. I've got a couple farms up here I can show you. By a couple, I mean 2. This is just the storage system for my slime farm. I'll show you guys the farm when we head back to the overworld, but the storage system is just an auto crafter. It auto crafts everything into blocks and then stores it in the shulker boxes here. We head back down to the hole. I've got this highway here, but I've never used it. I don't like it. The place I'm traveling is just over there. I'd really rather just fly there, to be honest with you. I'm very lazy. I can't even go into an ender chest and get a boat out. I gotta fly everywhere. But this is my piglin bartering farm. Again, this is my design. I'm very proud of it. If anyone makes fun of it, I hate you. I'll show you how it works real quick. I'll put a stack of gold into all 4 of these chests. You don't have to spread it all evenly, but it's way more efficient if you put an even amount of gold in all 4 of these chests. Once you've done that, you fill up your inventory with something that that piglins don't trade with you. Jump into the center. Definitely make sure you look straight down and center yourself with this glass pane. Look around. There's a lever here. Turns that on. How this works is all the gold is in these dispensers. It dispenses out the gold to the piglins, like so. The piglins look at the gold and they're like, huh, what do I do with this? And then they just throw stuff at you. What am I even picking up? I didn't empty my inventory. As I was saying, they throw stuff at you. And since you're standing in the center, it all gets thrown. It hits this glass pane and it goes down onto this block here. And then it all gets pushed into this nether portal right here. And that's pretty much how this works. I'll turn it off now. As for storage, you head through the nether portal that all the items were getting shot into. And that leads you here, this giant automatic storage area. Piglin bartering farms are insane. They give you a lot. They give you fire charges. They give you leather. So I don't even need that cow farm. I didn't realize that. They give you string. They give you quartz. They give you blackstone. They give you obsidian. They give you crying obsidian. They give you soul sand. They give you nether bricks. Like, they're just insane. They give you a lot more single items as well, but I don't bother with those. They're not very useful to me. To sum it up, piglin bartering farms are insane, and I do really want to build a more powerful one soon. I got a lot I want to do. I'm all talk, but if we head back through the nether portal, go back down to our highway, and head back to the hole in the roof, we got one more farm on the roof. So if you stand on the right side of the highway and just kind of look to the left a little and fly straight ahead, I believe that's where the farm is. Yep, there it is. There are coordinates in the top left as well if you get lost. This is a very simple farm, but apparently I need to turn the storage system on. I only built this farm once and I've never come back to it. I'll explain why soon. How do I even turn the storage system on? What the heck do I mean by that? Okay, apparently down, off, up, on. How does that work? Okay. Works like that. That's pretty cool. Head back to the nether side of things first. I sometimes give myself signs like this so I don't forget about some things. I'm very aggressive towards myself. I'm sorry, myself. But how this farm works is it's extremely simple. You have to build it in a crimson forest biome. And you just go up on the nether roof and you build a bunch of portals. A crap ton of portals. A lot of portals. You build heaps of them. And the guys, they spawn and they instantly teleport into this portal. They fall off. They start cooking in that lava. They fall to their death. Because they're on fire, you get cooked pork chops from it, which is awesome. And just some leather. I originally had an awesome idea for this farm, and I built it and planned to do a fun video with it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I don't know if I want to say it or not. I'm going to say it. It was going to be 1,000 dogs versus something. I don't know what. I just wanted to tame 1,000 dogs and have them fight something. I thought that'd be awesome. We head back to the nether side of things. And if you're lost, like I am right now, you just kind of follow the coordinates back to 0, 0. If you're looking at the sign, you look to the right here, I believe. I hope. Yeah, my coordinates are going down and up. And we back. Okay. I think that's everything for the nether side of things. Now it's time for the fun stuff. The very fun stuff. My main base. My humble abode. So we just head through this nether portal. You got to make sure you wipe your feet on the way in. Here's my base. You can already see my TPS is going down. If we turn around, that's my highway to the end portal. So we'll tour the base first, then we'll go through here. But here's my base. Here's my storage. Here's a little furnace array for when I need to do a couple stacks of items in a minute. This side is a really old mob farm. It's kind of useless. It's a terrible mob farm. I want to do something new for this side because the mob farm's useless. So if anyone has any ideas, comment it down below. But I was thinking I could do a membership thing. I write people's names down on signs and just keep extending this hallway until the end of time. And then you got my chests where I store all my stuff. Is there anything cool? I don't know, redstone. I've got a bunch of redstone. I've got a bunch of totems of undying. I've got a bunch of obsidian. I've got a bunch of iron. I've got a bunch of redstone. I got some diamonds. Got a bunch of gold. Anything else that anyone really cares about? I got a bunch of coal. I got a bunch of full beehives. I once farmed a metric crap ton of those. Here's my first and only ever gold apple. I've never eaten a gold apple. I've never gone searching for it. I've never gone searching for gold apples. I've only ever found one randomly, and I refuse to go searching for them because who really cares? It's all my cool stuff. I've also got stuff hidden in my walls. If you go to the left here, I got a cool little crop farm here. You just turn the thing on and plant crops here and they get automatically bone mealed. Let's get out of this wall and into another wall. If I head into this right side wall, here's my bulk storage area. I got a bunch of obsidian that I stored last video. This is where I put items that I build a farm for once and run it for a long time and then store it. So for an obsidian farm, you need a wither, and I didn't really want a wither sitting around somewhere by a farm. So I kind of just built an obsidian farm, let it run for days on end, and then stored all that. I'm a wuss. So that's the inside of my base. If I look up, there's this giant hole you can fly through. Then you can land to the top here if you want, up to you. It kind of overlooks all of my world, all my farms and stuff, all my cool builds. And if you fly away, you can get an actual proper look. I'm not a big fan of like a base. I consider this whole area my base. I consider my base, in quotations, just a big storage area to hold the supplies for me to extend my actual base, this entire giant island. And a little bit of me lore. I've got a TMMA for the Madman Army. That's what my YouTube channel used to be called. I'm Jack Madman now. The Madman Army felt way too professional. But let's get straight into it. Let's show you some farms. This big dollar sign right here is my villager trading hall, and I've got it cut off into 4 different kind of trading sections. It used to be 5. This is where I used to be able to trade emeralds, but there was way too many villagers here. It was causing a lot of lag, so I murdered them all. But if I head into this first little bottom left pit of the dollar sign, this is the main area. This is where all my mending books, all my Depth Strider, Silk Touch, Respiration, Mending, Unbreaking, Projectile, all of the good stuff. It's not every single maximum enchant, it's just all the useful ones. If we fly out and head into the opposite section, this is the second one that I use the most. All these guys in here trades me golden carrots. So every time I run out of golden carrots in my ender chest, I come back here and I stock back up. We head into the top right section. I honestly don't remember what these guys give me. They give me sword, axe, shovel, pickaxe, and armor. Okay, I don't have to spend diamonds. Cool. There's a really big section for 3 traders. That's funny. I don't even use this. When I just run out of tools, I just craft them. And if we head into the opposite section of this, what do these guys give us? I think lapis lazuli. Yeah, these guys give me lapis lazuli and bottles of enchanting, but I mainly only really use them for the lapis lazuli. Can anyone tell me why these guys aren't picking up a job? All of these guys used to be these guys, but I'm only just noticing now that a lot of them have reverted back to normal villages. That's enough of that. Right next to this big dollar sign is this giant iron farm. I think this was one of the first projects I worked on when I made this base. This thing produces somewhere around 30,000 iron an hour. I'll show you how it works with one of the modules. So each module is just one of these things. It's got a pillager in the center, carrying 4 groups of 3 villagers over and over, and that spawns iron golems, and they all just fall down. Eventually they'll get to this lava here, and then all their items get pushed down into this sorting system. Goes all the way along here, back to this corner here. It gets put into this auto storage system, which sorts them into shulker boxes of poppies and shulker boxes of iron blocks. This farm's nuts. I love this farm, but I think I'm eventually going to have to break it because there's so many entities like villagers, pillagers, and iron golems that it's what's causing the most lag around my base, which will suck very much. If we keep going along to the right here, we've got this dripstone farm that I made not too long ago. I've got to extend it and make a platform for it like I do all my other farms. But to turn it on, you come to the storage system, go to the back here, flick this lever, and how it works is it's got these flying machines, which breaks all the dripstone, obviously. There's a lot of items on the ground, but as you can see, the flying machines turn around and push all the items back into these hoppers over here. As you can see, it all gets pushed into the hoppers, which is really cool. All the hoppers go to these dispensers, and then it shoots into the storage system. Turn that thing off now. That's how that works. Before we keep continuing on the trajectory I've been following, let's turn to the left here and part the sea. Cross the ocean. I've got this little ice farm here. This is also a really old farm. I haven't tested it in a very long time. But pretty much, you hop in here, and you just go along here. You break all the ice. I think you have to take your boots off. You can go AFK. You literally just hold left click and it pushes you along this entire giant system where you just loop back and forth, 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 and you get all that ice. And when you're done going through that system, you get brought back to the center here. So how this works, you hold your pickaxe and you have food in your second hand. You hold left and right click. When you get to the end here, you put your pickaxe in here and you break it because you hold left and right click. It goes into this chest and you go over this pressure plate here, which shoots you out some food and a new pickaxe. So you're all set to just go back and do another loop. So depending on how much pickaxes and how much food you have in this system, you can run this forever. You get that much ice from it. I haven't used it in a couple of years now. I've AFK'd it like 2 times total. Let's head back to the mainland. Got this farm right here. This is obviously a dirt and clay farm. You can tell that because of the dirt and clay platform. This is where it starts to get a little bit confusing. So if you fly up to this platform here, and then you walk into here, and take out some spruce saplings. Before doing anything, I like to lower my render distance so you're not lagging, so it doesn't potentially break the farm. You hop into this minecart, you turn the farm on, and then you turn on an auto clicker, or you just hold right click. So this is the dirt farm. This farm's dirt. I know I'm placing saplings and that's a little confusing, but it farms dirt. So there's a cool mechanic. When you grow a 4x4 spruce tree, there's a radius of blocks around it, and if there's any dirt or moss, that'll turn into podzol, as you can see happening right now. It's got a stone generator underneath, and then that stone gets turned into moss, and then that moss gets turned into podzol, and then it just gets pushed along into this TNT duper. Oh my god. I told you this is where it gets confusing. And then you can just turn the farm off by turning it off. Very complicated, very mysterious. Might have to break your way out, but it's all worth it in the end. And of course, if I head to the storage system, it all automatically gets stored. And all the items I'm not sorting, they all just despawn after 5 minutes. It doesn't cause too much lag. But it all goes in, auto sorts. I get dirt, mud, and clay from in this entire platform. So to get clay, I just grab one of these shulker boxes of dirt, and from the storage system I fly up and around here, and normally you'll put shulker boxes in these chests, but I've only got one shulker box, so I can't really evenly spread it, but I will evenly spread it into all of these hoppers and stuff. Okay, the dirt's evenly spread, so to use the farm, you let yourself into here, you open this trap door, you flick this lever, close the trap door, you pick up a block, and then you just go ham. You turn on an auto clicker, and that'll just keep continuously placing dirt. So that dirt then travels to this dispenser, which wets it and turns it into mud. And then it pushes along this system, gets divided into all of these. All of these platforms, they have dripstone underneath, which sucks out the liquid and turns the mud into clay. And why this is so big and why this is so long is it takes a little while for the mud to get turned into clay. It's not instant the second you put it over a block with dripstone under it. So that's why it gets divided and given time to travel all the way through. And when it is turned to clay, it goes through this pushing system here all the way to this TNT blowing up chamber. And eventually when that gets low enough, like it just did, it'll all blow up. All the clay will get pushed into this auto crafting system like usual. That'll craft it all into clay blocks, and then it'll send it back through the sorting system, and it'll auto sort into shulker boxes of clay. Oh my god, this is getting to be too much, bro. This is gonna be way too much. That's the dirt farm and clay farm. Let's keep going on the path we've been following. Here's the cactus farm. This produces around 42,000 an hour. I specifically chose to stop building at that number because 42,000 has 420 in it, and that's really funny. This thing is extremely simple. Pretty much one of these, if you put a cactus on sand and then a block next to it where it's going to grow, it'll break automatically and it'll go in the water. I just copied that idea on a large scale, on a very large scale. And I've never needed cactus after building this ever because I just don't. How often do you need green dye? You don't need it that often. I needed it for one farm when I was doing a creeper farm a long while ago, and then I've just never needed it since. Next farm is a very upsetting farm. My spruce wood farm. This thing used to produce 461,000 spruce wood an hour. Now it produces 0. What I'm thinking with broken farms like this is another thing I want suggestions for. I don't just want to delete them. I'm thinking surround it in a big square of tinted glass and then put like yellow and black police tape around it. So like it's still here, but it's got something showing off that it doesn't work anymore. I think that'd be a pretty cool idea. Let me know what you guys think. If anyone's got any better idea, like that, my idea is a big bulky thing. If anyone's got anything better, please let me know. What's the next farms? I think we'll head that way. So we've kind of come from my base. We've looped up here. We'll kind of go up there and loop back around and go back to my base. So we'll go to the Bad Omen farm. This one's a very, very, very simple design. You literally just come here, turn on an auto clicker, and here's how it works. You're up high enough. These guys spawn. No one else spawns. They 360 up the tube for some reason. Trying to hit trick shots in my Minecraft world. And they end up here and they die. And when you kill the guys with the flags, you get Bad Omen. And that's pretty much everything to it. It's a very simple design. I figured it out myself one day. One day I was just in creative trying to figure out a good raid farm, and I flew up to get a good view of the area, and I noticed there was a ton of guys spawning at this certain height I was standing. So then I built a farm around it. Me flying around was my Chemical X. We'll fly back this way now to my bone meal farm. I haven't used this in years, so I actually have no idea if it's even working. Let's just flick this lever and find out. How it's supposed to work is these flying machines go back and forth. So it seems to be working. These hopper minecarts also pick up all of the pumpkins. There's already bone meal coming out of it all, but that's probably all bone meal that's been there for years. So when they come back, we'll see if they're working or not. And there's 4 layers to this. For some reason, I had designed it so the top 2 layers go left first, then the bottom 2 layers go right first, which it's pretty cool, I guess. But this thing is really ugly because of all the sea lanterns up here. I can probably get rid of a lot of the lines now. I built this before the light update where mobs could still spawn while there's some light. But I have to have this lit up because as soon as an Enderman gets in here and places a block, it stops the whole flying machine and just ruins everything. And you just want to cry for days on end. That's why it's floating in the sky. I want to get rid of this thing. It sucks. It's terrible. Okay, Memento O Trutho. Are you working? It seems to be working. All right. I guess this bone meal farm's still here. Still breathing. Still living and breathing. That's so annoying. Can you just break so I can get rid of you? You're so ugly. And you're basic. All right, what do I want to show next? Do I want to show the bamboo farm / furnace array, or do I want to show my regular sized house? I think I want to show my regular sized house. So here's a fun project I worked on. I don't think this was clickbait. I don't think this was anything. It was just fun. I've always wanted to build something big, and then you can like run around and it's like, you feel so small. Is that weird? Is that really weird? I don't know. I just think it's so fun to run around like a little rat. Like, I'm gonna bite your pinky toe. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. It'd be so easy to burn this place down. Yeah, this is just one of my childhood things I've always wanted to do, so I ended up doing it. And it's so worth it. But that's another reason I want to destroy this. I reckon this is blocking the view. You know what I mean? It's just ruining it. It's just ruining it. There's nothing too special about this. It's just all for looks. It's not a farm or anything. All right. Let's show you the bamboo farm. Let's show you that thing. So if you fly down to this little platform on the furnace array just here, this at heart is mostly a furnace array. That's what I use it for more. So I'll show you how to use it. You just press this button and then you chuck stuff in the chest that you want to smelt, like sand or literally anything you want to smelt. It takes out exactly 2 stacks per hopper minecart and then sends that into 128 furnaces. Probably lower my render distance because this is not very well optimized. So that's the item smelting part. The reason this is next to the bamboo farm is you'll see very soon. Now that the furnace at the very far corner isn't full of bamboo, the bamboo farm has been set off so it can fuel this furnace array. Now, very soon you're about to realize why this thing isn't very well optimized because of just how many entities there are. I really have to build a new furnace array and switch to coal stuff now that I got a wither skeleton farm. But yeah, in the top right, you can see I'm lagging like crazy already. Believe it or not, this used to be way worse. I used to not have a glass roof above this, so the bamboo would be like triple the height and cause triple the lag. My MSPD would go up to like 150, 200, and the game would be unrunnable for about 20 minutes. But yeah, this smelter array is really fast because before it finished 1/2 of the loop, it's already smelted my full shulker box. I just have to fetch it all from all these hoppers because hoppers aren't fast enough for this farm. Yeah, look at this. Done. Done scaroonies. And if you are actually using this, please make sure you wait until all of these are back up to the end. These will automatically turn off when that furnace in the back left there is full of bamboo. They've just got to get back to there before you leave. Because if you fly out of the area, the flying machines will stop working and you have to go in there and repair it, and it's really annoying. Better to just wait. Impatience kills you. Okay, it's all back now. Now, I have a switch here that turns it from the furnace array to just the bamboo farm, and it goes all into this storage here. And it's a really simple way of doing it. It powers this redstone line, which powers this piston down here. Both these pistons down here, actually. And instead of sending the water that way, it powers this piston and depowers this piston, and this water flows that way up into this water system. I think it's really cool. That's the sort of redstone I love doing as well. It's fun as. I'm not going to bother running it now, though, because I've got enough lag going on. Okay, we've got one more farm to go on the west side of my base, and it's this cobblestone farm. I love this farm with all my heart. So if you fly up to this platform at the very top, that's where you go to AFK and send this thing away. And set your render distance to somewhere under 10. I'm going to do 5 because of all the bamboo to the left of me. Gonna make me lag like crazy. My MSPD's at 100. I changed my mind. I'm gonna do 9. I have no doubt this is gonna work first try. I flick this lever and that activates the whole thing. They all start making the stone and they all start blowing up. I don't remember. I think this farm makes 2 million stone an hour, which is pretty awesome. Like, look at this. I'm just standing here picking it all up, going crazy, going wild, getting all that cobblestone. It's too much. It's way too much. It's 4 modules per layer, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, and I think each one of these farms makes 250,000. That might be wrong. It might be 125,000. I don't know. It's El Mango design. I miss El Mango. I wish he comes back. El Mango was the best. Just switch it off. You just flick the lever up. Okay, so that's all the farms from the south to the west of my base. I've just got north to the east now. So I'll go east. I'll go over to my slime biome. This is another 2 projects that I thought were just fun to do and I think look pretty cool. I changed the whole biome into slime. Same thing here. I changed the whole biome into the nether. And I made a little castle. I'm thinking of doing something with this in the future, like, all these nations, the Fire Nation, the Slime Nation, the Iron Nation, the Obsidian Nation, the Gold Nation. I'm thinking of doing biomes of stuff. I love just coming in here and bouncing every now and again. Makes my stomach drop. Holy crap. It feels so uncomfortable. This is just some fun stuff I work on. The part of all this that took me the longest was getting a lava source on every single one of these blocks. All right, we'll head a little more north to how I supplied the slime for all of this biome. My slime farm. This thing's beautiful. This is also recently renovated. This is kind of the same as that other farm we saw in the nether. It's just a bunch of portal spam. It's got eggs on the side to get rid of all the zombie piglins out of the mob cap. And the slimes, they just spawn inside the portals. And we saw the storage system on the nether side of things, so I won't bother showing that off. But yeah, and it's also got a design of a little slime face. If I fly up, you can see it a lot better. But if I made a map of this, you wouldn't even see the farms. You'd literally just see a slime face, which I thought was pretty cool. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. Okay, we'll head a little more north. We've got this really stupid... This is honestly just a really dumb project. So if you fly to the top of this stupid spirally thing, this door here... Can I lift my clouds up? Okay, I've turned clouds off for now. But yeah, this is a really stupid project. It's a door. You press the button, and it takes 2 hours for the door to open. It's just... so stupid. I know you can also set it up for a way for it to be billions of years to take it to open. So I set up a rule for myself. I was only allowed to use repeaters. And I've pretty much just got repeaters upon repeaters spiraling all the way down to the water level. Back and forth, up and down the whole thing. And it just takes 2 hours to open. Really stupid idea. Really, really stupid idea. But it was kind of fun to make. Okay, sweet. We'll head a little bit to the west now. This is my last farm in the overworld I'll showcase before I show the biggest project I have quite literally ever worked on. This is my all-purpose mob farm. I didn't make this in a video. I took a break from making videos and I really wanted to play Minecraft, so I made this. But obviously, again, we set our render distance to 10 so we don't lag too much. And you just flick this lever in the AFK chamber and it all turns on. And this is a really cool farm. It uses the new tinted glass, and it literally just spams TNT. And what tinted glass does is it stops light from going through, so mobs can spawn in here, and then they get absolutely murked by a TNT cannon. They get spawn camped. They get murdered upon being brought to life. They get brought to life dead. Like that spider just there. It's crazy. I love this thing. This was a really fun project to work on. I'm sad I wasn't making videos at the time of it. It would have made a really fun project to make a video on. And obviously all the items get sorted into shulker boxes upon shulker boxes of stuff. This farm makes a lot. It makes gunpowder, rotten flesh, arrows, bones, string. It does make some glowing sacks, but not many. I've AFK'd this farm for a long while now, and I've still not got a single shulker box. Makes sticks. It makes it makes a lot more redstone than I thought. Jesus Christ. I didn't think it had made that much redstone. Makes glowstone, makes spider eyes, makes sugar, and it makes bottles. That's how all of this works. Okay. It's time. If we fly up and out to the left of this, we're about to go to my biggest project yet. It's literally right next to the 2-hour door. This right here is the biggest beacon in all of Minecraft. I can say that confidently because it's quite literally at the bottom layer, bedrock level. I removed bedrock specifically so I can make it as big as possible, all the way up to world height. It doesn't look like I have to fly much, but I've used like 3-4 rockets just to get up here. Here we are. 32 render distance, and I can't load all of it in. It is huge. I spent over a year doing this. I did it all in one video. I was crazy back in the day. Now I'm not. Thank God for that. This thing's huge, and it doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. It's just a big old pyramid. Fills up my whole screen. I'll show you guys though. I can fly underneath. That was scary. That wasn't real vomit, by the way. That was just how I was feeling in that moment. As I was saying, yeah, I can head down below here, and we're under the terrible down here. It's so dark and sad and laggy for some reason. Why am I lagging so much? I hated that. I say we head back to base. Just got to fly towards the 2-hour door, and then all the farms we've been going through kind of lead us towards back to my base. Go to the slime farm, and then we're back to my base. Now there's 2 methods to enter my base. You can either fly straight down and you won't die to fall damage, or you can just spin around in circles gracefully. Land like a butterfly. All right, if we face towards the Nether portal and go through it, I don't mean in it, I mean through it. Here's my end portal, ice boat highway thingy. This leads us to a very dark place, a very scary place. I don't think many enter this place. I would say the best way to enter this place is to go in backwards so you know where the center is. And then these pistons open up and you can jump into the portal. And this is the Realms project. This is my beautiful project. This was another one of my first big projects. Forever unfinished until they bring out another dimension. This is heavily inspired by Adventure Time. You know, where they split. You know when Ooze split into the 4 elements and it was like gum, fire, ice, candy. This is heavily inspired by that, but it's just Overworld and Nether unknown. Whenever we get a new dimension, give us the Aether. I'll build it here. I think it's a really cool project. I love it. It's not as good as other people's projects, but it's way better than the regular end. We can all say that. Please say that. Please. But other than the Realms project, I only got 1, 2, 3 farms I really want to show you guys. Show you the honey farm first. This is another farm I haven't used in years. And I'm thinking about getting rid of it because the 2 big farms I've got both have an insane amount of entities, and that's why my TPS up the top isn't good at all. But I don't know. Let's just turn this thing on and see if it works. It's just this lever at the front. I just press that and hope it all works. I don't actually know if it will anymore. It seems like it's working still, which is very good. There should be honey coming up through this system. Yeah, there's honey still going in. Nice. And then bottles should also be leaving this system to refill all the bottles that went empty. How this works, the bees pollinate the flower, go in there, make the honey. These things set off a redstone signal. Whenever this is full of honey, a bottle in this dispenser will go off, and then the rest is history. A hopper underneath it will pick it up straight away as soon as it goes off. And then those hoppers lead into dispensers, which lead into this water stream, and then it gets sorted. This one's semi-complicated, but also not really that complicated. And to turn it off, you just flick the lever. The other main farm is the shulker farm. This thing is new, and it produces 25,000 shulker shells an hour. I've got 25 modules of a small shulker farm, and it's just good. each module produces 1,000 an hour, and it's sick. There's no on-off switch for this. It just runs continuously if the chunks are loaded. You don't have to be within range or not. It just has to be in loaded chunks. So while I was over there, this was still running, which isn't that good. I prefer farms with on-off switches to cause less lag, but with the entities wouldn't go away even if I had an on-off switch, so it'd still be laggy no matter what. But how this works is there's snowmen in the bottom, and they just get aggroed onto them, and the water source flings the bullets back up or something. I don't exactly know, but they hit themselves. They respawn more. They also die. And the water stream at the bottom that flings the shots up also works as a double purpose. It flows the items down, and I can store the items that way. Follows this water stream along, going up here, and obviously auto sorts into shulker boxes. This thing's actually insane. I've got a lot of shulker shells. All right, and lastly, but not least, my gravity block duper. It's a small one, but it's a very valuable piece of machinery. It just dupes all gravity blocks. Any sort of concrete powder, stuff like sand, stuff like gravel. I couldn't live without it. Well, I could. Life would just be a million times harder. Alrighty, well, I think that's my world. If we just go through the end portal, hop down here and have a little nap, I think this is where I'll leave you guys off. That was my world, everybody. It honestly doesn't feel like much for 5 years of work. If I had have done like all building projects, like build a bunch more of those biomes like the slime biome, it would look like a lot more. But since I do a lot of technical stuff, a lot of redstone, that takes a lot of time for such condensed work. So it doesn't look like much, but it really is. It's heaps. That's what I'll keep telling myself at least. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Help me do this full time. Help me quit my job. It's my dream to do this full time, so that would be awesome if I could. I'm a very long way away from it, and right now I'm just treating it as a hobby. I'm doing it for fun, uploading one video a week. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my world. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Mwah.